famous historical figure in Thailand. And so when I moved to the region, I also I also use that approach. Like I look for some historical or fictional or non-fiction or real person, and I found this legend of the 19th century man Africano, which is like I think the most powerful and influential ghost figure in Thailand ever. So her story has been adapted into many mediums like films, TV drama and stuff, and it's about like this female ghost who wants to live with her husband, but the society are not happy with that, and they try to break them apart, and that's one of the first idea. And the other idea is like I always had this image of a ghost walking in the office, not to scare people but to work, because I feel like we live in such a difficult time that even the dead need to make a living. Or something like that. And I had these two ideas, like I combined them together about the human and ghosts that want to be together, but society are not happy with that, and also like about the ghosts that need to work just to survive. Yeah.
Yeah, because we see a lot of horror films, and especially ghost films from Thailand and Southeast Asia, so it's like this is a completely fresh and new kind of approach, so I was really happy to see that. Going back to your point about historical characters and such, this film has a socio-political subtext that might not be first nature to some of the international audience. Is there something you want to make sure all the viewers catch or know?
Also, we also discussed this a lot with my producer, like about like there's a lot of Thai specific context that might be a little bit difficult for non-Thai audiences. But I feel like if the film is engaging enough or compelling enough, like it's the engaged audience, and they might like do some homework or research afterwards. That's kind of my plan too.
Yeah, I hope this will encourage our audience to look up Thai history and to understand better about the context behind the film. So now I'm gonna go to questions to the audience. This is a big room, so I would really appreciate if you could speak really loud and clear and try to make your questions short. And I'll try my best to repeat them. I see one person over here. Let's go ahead.
I just want to say this is my first 5-star film of this festival. Incredible movie. My question for you is regarding the, I would say, visual and special effects, especially with the appliances, the factory here. How was the process like to get these appliances to life? Was it a green screen, or was it people doing it?
The question was, what was the process or special effects that went into the scenes with the appliances and the making?
I have to answer the first one would be ridiculous. Like I really actually summoned the ghost to possess the working cleaner and have a start of it. But the real answer would be we make a model inside the working cleaner, so we remote control it during the shooting. But it's for just for the moving part. But with the one with the tube moving, like we have like the green screen, we have like the technician in green suits like moving the tube, and we believe it afterward. Yeah.
That's interesting. Does anyone else have questions? Maybe from the back? I don't see anybody because I'm very. It's too bright. Someone in white shirt there? Yes, go ahead. Okay, I think the question was, what was your comedic influences? Yeah. It's just natural for him.
Yeah.
He's a comedian.
I think I have like have a natural sense of humor when I don't know, and also I'm influenced by. It's always weird for people saying that I kind of like Portuguese cinema in a way, and Portuguese cinema has a really unusual way of I don't know, making a film. One of my main influences is Portuguese directors. His name is Charles Cesar Montero, and he died a long time ago. And he's kind of interesting because like he kind of mixed. His film is very art house, like very slow, very steady. But the story is so perverted in a way. I remember there's one film called Recollection of the Yellow House. It starts with like a montage of response, very beautiful image of this architecture and the river. But the voiceover is narrated by a woman who talk about, how to say it in English, like, leaves in her pubic hair. Rise in her pubic hair. Like, and it's so, the contrast between the image and style was so funny. Like, the image is so beautiful, but what she's saying, like, it's like, oh my god, I'm so itchy or something like that. It's so funny, yeah. So that's I kind of like this idea because when during the pre-production, I also like wrote a long essay, not like a note for the Globe building. And one of the main concepts that I use and try to communicate to my team is like, I want the film to look like elegantly perverted and pervertedly elegant in the same way. Yeah, it should look beautiful, but it somehow like it has to contain a lot of silly or ridiculousness in the film. Yeah.
That exactly describes the film, yes. Actually, I was also wondering about how beautiful your film is. Like, every scene is pretty much so picturesque that I would want to poster of it in my room. Like, are there any special efforts you put in order to create your visual aesthetics?
Yeah, I also talked to my cinematographer. Like, I want the film to look painterly. Like, it should look like a painting in a way. And also, I don't know. I feel like. As I said earlier, like I want the film to look so elegant and composed. I like artificiality in a way. I like the film that looks so designed, like so manipulated visually. And yeah.
I think I see someone in black shirt there. Yes, go ahead.
And speaking also to visuals, can you tell us how you designed Nat's look?
Oh.
The question was, how did you design Nat's look?
Because since she's a ghost, and as you said in the film, that ghost is someone like who died and refused to just disappear. Because like every ghost like once dead people, but not every dead people turn to ghosts, right? So ghost is someone who like already died, but they return. So for me, ghost is someone who's like kind of out of time. They don't belong to the present. So I feel like they should look kind of conspicuous, like they don't belong to the present. So if you see like every ghost in the film has like a colorful hair for no reason. It's not like they dye their hair before they die, but when they die, they have their hair dyed. So Nat has like a red hair, and Claw has like a grayish, and Bob has like a brown hair. Yeah, and that's one thing. And also her dress. I think I also like her to be like kind of out of time. She looked like she doesn't belong to any place. Yeah, and I kind of like this 80s female fashion, like this power, like a pad, shoulder pad, and also I also think that it's kind of look like an office uniform, that exaggerated because she comes back to work. So I think like that's the main idea that I want to carry. Like she's in this dress that is so heavy, so burdened, like much like a burden on her body. She's not comfortable to move around. Yeah, and she's like always stand out.
Well, her surrealistic beauty also makes her stand out so much. I think I see someone in red there. Yes, go ahead.
Were you inspired by any other kind of supernatural or horror films that you can speak to?
Are you inspired by any other supernatural films?
I think living in Thailand is already supernatural, so, in a way or two. And Thailand is so absurd as a country, so it's full of absurdity. And I'm not sure, but I think one of the inspirations that made me want to go with a haunted vacuum cleaner is like a American film from the 80s that Poltergeist. Like because before it's vacuum cleaner, it's just a normal ghost. In my initial draft, she just returned as a human, in a human form. And when I pitched it to, or told it to my friends and other people will always respond like, that's not so original. So I went back and tried to think something original. Or maybe vacuum cleaner is original enough for you. So I did some research about how cinema as a medium represents ghosts. Like how when, as a viewer, you watch the film and you know that this is a human, this is a ghost. Like from the side film, sometimes it's like a translucent, like or sometimes like people like ghosts just float, ghosts don't have feet for some reason, and then like there's like this poltergeist film in this 80s American cinema that ghost is somehow invisible and they try to communicate with the living by like moving stuff around the house, And since then, like died of respiratory disease caused by dust pollution. So I think like it's kind of like suitable for her to be inside the vacuum cleaner. Yeah.
Do you have, I think I see someone in the middle there, yes?
For the song at the end, it's quite what Tarantino-esque, it's quite powerful. Can you tell us the name of the number as the ghosts are attacking and where you found it?
The question is the song at the credits is it like kind of like Tarantino? Can you share the name of the song?
Yeah, I don't remember the name. It's like, I think it's called The Tragedy in Minimalist Style. It's by this Russian composer. I think I watched, I think I knew this song from watching a Dutch short film from a few years ago. It's called Sandor. And at the end of that short film, like, it's so powerful. The short film is so powerful. But the song at the end is also composed by the same composer. Yeah, and his music is so bizarre. So I just like Google him and then like listen to his other song, and I ran into this one, and I found like, oh my god, I want to put it in my film. Yeah, but that's my initial idea. And then when we edited this film, I wasn't sure whether like it's gonna like suit the film or not. But when we put it in the last scene, I kind of like, okay, kind of aligned with what I had in mind.
Absolutely, that's an interesting question. I like that. Do we have more from the audience? I see someone here, yes?
How long did it take the idea to
The question was from conceptualization to the final product, how long did it take?
So long. I first had this idea for the film in 2017, so it was quite long until its premiere this year, 2025. So I just finished my first draft in 2020 because it was a COVID year. Because my main job was like writing for TV, and I don't know here, but in Thailand, writing for TV is like a factory. You need to keep churning out episode after episode every week, and it's kind of tough. It was quite tough for me to have time for my own personal project. So it wasn't until like COVID year that I have enough time to finish the first draft, and after that the producer could just start like financing. Yeah, so it took so long.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really appreciated how I felt like all of the characters had so many layers and like their emotional arcs and everything with this step. I was curious, I clearly took you a long time, but how did you like realize it about to like obviously going
I mean, the characters are have many layers and depth. How did you come to a point where you were satisfied with the character development? That's a very interesting but also difficult question.
Yeah, difficult to answer. I felt like I really don't know like when at what point I was sure that this is enough, and if this is still underdeveloped or this is gonna be overdeveloped. But I think I was pressured by this feeling of I want to shoot a film soon. So sometimes you have to set up a deadline for yourself, and like you're gonna be happy with what you already have in hand, or if not, then you're gonna keep developing a film. So I don't know, like I'm really not sure, but I'm just like, okay, this point is like it's had enough depth into the story, so I just like, okay, let's move to the next stage.
Yeah, I mean, also after you develop your characters, like what was the casting process like? Did you think of these actors while you were writing, or how did it work?
Davika, the main cast, the Nat, like was the first actor that we got on board. Yeah. Actually, she's like a top tier, very famous actress in Thailand, and I never imagined of having her on film, but she was like in this Netflix series, in another series, like working with another director, but she was working with my producer as well. And she told my producer like, I haven't been in film like 9 years already. I'm very open to act in films again, even if it's like smaller, like low budget independent film. And my producer said like, oh, let's try to be a vacuum cleaner. And she's like, okay, that's interesting. So she read the script and she's like, she liked the script, so she became on board. And the rest was like open call casting, yeah.
Okay, I think we have only time for one last question, right? Does anyone have yeah, right there, go ahead. you speak up? Sorry.
balance the humor and the heaviness.
Sure. How do you balance the humor and the more heavy story?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, like,
Talent.
Yeah, I mean, no. I feel like I think, I always want to mix that. I feel like if you make that heavy topic in this kind of normal drama film, I find that quite uninteresting for me. So I think that for me as a filmmaker, I want to mix silly and serious, high and low, heavy and light topics together, and that's like kind of, I don't know, I feel more comfortable making that kind of film instead of like making like totally serious, totally, I don't know, heavy topic with no humor at all. And always, I had this sense of humor that somehow it's more difficult for me to write a drama for my clients because I always add some unexpected joke into the script. Yeah, so, and then ironically, I find that writing a comedy is more difficult because like you're gonna have this convention and expectation that it's gonna be funny every minute, and it's more difficult for me. So I think like to write a funny drama is easier. Yeah.
Alright, thank you so much. So I'm really sorry that's all the time we have today. Thank you for staying.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on the panel. And the rest of